Last class, we started discussing about single dimensional arrays in C. Single dimensional arrays allow a programmer to represent a group or sequence of elements of the same data type. We saw how an array can be declared and how it can be accessed. There is no single operator which performs an operation on an entire array, but we can use index for accessing array elements one by one. The agenda for today is to look at example processing on single dimensional array. So we shall see how different types of processing can be implemented on a single dimensional array. This is what we discussed in the last class about accessing an array. You can use a while loop to sequence through the elements of an array. So generally, any processing or any systematic processing on a single dimensional array can be coded like this. Suppose I is the index, it should start with 0, so initialize that to 0, then using a while loop until the value of I becomes the number of elements. In the example case, only 5 elements are there. In general, you can say n, if n is the number of elements. So while I is less than n, where n is the number of elements, then you process the array element at I as you want, and then you increment the index to the next value. So this is how you can access. Now we can see concrete examples. The first example is how can you read elements into an array. Now suppose you have a sequence of 5 decimal numbers, maybe DSeq of integers, then how will you read elements into it? Now you don't know what is the element at every position because it is just declared. Now you can use a code like this or a program like this to read elements into the array. So what is this program? The first statement says you just display this message, which is enter 5 numbers on the screen. So naturally the next sequence of statements is going to read the elements into the array. So just use the common while loop format that we devised. So this is the while loop. Index initialized to 0, while I is less than 5, no change, the same. Only this statement is changed. Here we have to read elements into the ith position in the array. So you are passing the address of the ith position. DSeq I is that element, and this is the address of the element. I hope you are getting me. And so the only difference here is here we have used a concrete statement to access, which is just reading to the ith position. And if you do that, and assuming that the user is giving these numbers, then after executing this part of the code, this will be the array instance. At 0, you are storing 10, at 1 you are storing 20, at 2 you are storing 30, then 40 and 50 as entered by the user. So this is how you can read into the array. So the general format where the processing is scanf. Now let us see how you can display the content of an array. Just the opposite, there is assumed to be elements like this. How can you display these elements on the screen? The only difference is here the processing is printf rather than scanf. So you just display the string the array contains, then next line characters, then that standard loop format where the processing is printf. So you are printing one element at a time, and after that you are leaving a space also, and that is why you are getting a space in between. So for all the values of I from 0 to 4, that is 0 I less than 5, you are printing the value at index I. So if you process this part of the program, the array is going to be not changed because you are not doing any processing on the array other than just printing the element. So this is how you can print it. The only difference here is you are just processing it using the ith element is processed using a printf statement. So the ith element is getting displayed. Not that this is within my loop. Now maybe we can see, suppose you want to modify the elements of an array, how will you do it? Suppose you have this array and you execute this. What you are doing? So this is the standard loop, and sorry I am missing I is equal to I plus 1, very sorry for the typing mistake, that I will include and send you the updated version of the slide. After this I must have I is equal to I plus 1. So what I am trying to do is I am incrementing the value at every position by 1. This is what I am doing, and if you do it, this is what you are going to get. Okay, and assume that there is I is equal to I plus 1 here, otherwise this will end up in an infinite loop. Sorry for the typing mistake. So this is how you will process. Maybe you can print it or read to it or access it, or even you can modify it like this. You can treat it just like the normal variable, but it's dseek at I a valid index to the array. Now we can look at another operation, which is deleting an element of an array, of a single dimensional array, which is a tricky operation. How will you delete? Suppose you have this array, and the question now is how we can delete the element at index k, some valid index k. For example, suppose k is equal to 2. You want to delete the element 30. How will you do it? In fact, if you are using static memory allocation or declaration as we saw, there is no way to give back the memory location allocated, but you can somehow manage to get this 30 out of this array. How will you do it? It can be implemented by shifting all the elements from position k plus 1 position to the left. That is, you shift this 40 one position to the left. So 30 will be overwritten with 40, then do it for 50. So actually 40 is copied here, 50 is copied here, and then you decrement the number of elements. That's what you do. So what I said is, okay, I want to delete the element at index k. What should I do? You say that, okay, index is k. I want to delete from k. So I is positioned at index k, assuming that k is 2. Then what should I do? I have to first copy the elements from 3 to 2, that is from I plus 1 to I. This is what I want to do. You say that dsequence at I should get whatever is there in the next position. If you execute it, what will happen? This 40 will be getting written over 30. So this will become 40. So not that if I fire this statement, then 40 will be copied to this position. That's what I am doing. Okay. Then what you should do? You reposition I to the next. I was here. Reposition I to the next point. Increment I. And again you do this copy. Again the same statement, from the next position you copy to the current position. If you execute, 50 will be copied to position 3. This is what you do. Okay. Now you are done. From K all the point up to here, you already copied the last element to the second last position. You are done. Now what you should do? You don't want to remember about this element, which is now not meaningful. So you just forget about this. How will you do that? You just decrement the number of elements by 1. That's what you do. Then decrement the number of elements. So this is how you can delete. Now maybe we can try to write it as a code. This is what we said. Initially you say index is k, at which I have to delete. Then while I is less than n minus 1, that is, in this case you moved up to 3. 3 is actually 5 minus 2. Number of elements is 5. You have to move up to 5 minus 2. In general, you have to move up to the value of I n minus 2. So until this I becomes n minus 1, you can come out when it is n minus 1. When it is n minus 2, you have to execute. That's what I mean. Okay, this is the code. So what we did is from all the positions from K to the second last position, you say that, okay, now I want the next element here. This is the statement. So this is exactly what we are doing. I hope you're getting me. Otherwise, please think about it offline. So what we are doing is from the position K from which we have to delete, you have to say that, okay, you come to current position. You are standing here and saying, okay, the next element comes here. Then you move to the next and again repeat until you move to the second last element. And that is why you are writing it as less than n minus 1. That is, you will move up to n minus 2. Okay, this is what you are doing, and finally after that you are decrementing the number of elements and you are done. So what we did is, we need to perform the above copying operation for all values of I from K to n minus 2. That's why you said I less than n minus 1. So it will repeat until I becomes n minus 2. When I becomes n minus 1, you will come out. That's what we did, and this is how one can implement the deletion operation on a single dimensional array. Now, the next operation that we are going to discuss is how will you insert an element into an array. This is another operation. Now, consider this example. For insertion, you assume that at least one position is free in the array. Then only you can do insertion. Suppose this is the array and you want to insert a value, say 30, at index k, where k is equal to 2. Suppose at this position, you have to insert 30. The size of the array is 5. You only have 4 elements, so you can insert one more element. I want to insert at 2. The element required is 30. So how will you do? How can you do is, it can be implemented by shifting the second last element to the last position. That is the first step. Then this to this position, and you keep on doing it until you copy the element from index 2 to the next position. Okay, what I said is, you start from index IFM. Then what do you say? When you are standing here, you can say the element previous to it can now move here. So how will you say that? This is the movement you required. You are here, so you have to say that at I, the element from I minus 1 needs to be filled. So this is what you are saying. Sequence at I requires to be the value at I minus 1. Okay, so this copying is done. And if you fire this, this is what is happening. Okay, 50 is copied. Now this is free. You can overwrite it with the previous element. So what do? You decrement I. If you fire it, it will come here, and then you repeat the same operation. So this is what you do. If you fire this, then what will happen? 40 will come and override this 50, which is safe because 50 is already shifted. So this is what you do. And in this case, you are done because 40 is copied and now you are ready. You are free to write the new element into index 2. So how will you do that? You can say that d6 at index k is equal to the new value 30. So k is now pointing to the required position. You can say d6 at k is equal to the required element. So this is how you can insert an element into a single dimensional array. So here is how you can, after that definitely you have to increment the number of elements because you are just inserting one element. So this is what we discussed. Initially you have to start from the index n. Sorry, it should be n minus 1. I am very sorry. This must be, previously how many elements are here? 4 elements are there. Okay. From index 0 to 3, there are 4 elements. So definitely I want to start from n because to the 5th element, I am getting the last element. That's what I see. So start from index n and until the value of I is greater than k. So k is where I want to copy. So until the value of I is greater than k, what you do? When you are standing here, you copy from the previous position. That's what you do. Okay. So d6 at I is getting the value at I minus 1 and then you are decrementing. This is what you did, and after that what you have to do is you have to assign the required value. I am assuming that this is in a variable value to the position at k, and then you increment the number of numbers. So this is what we did. We shifted values from index n to actually k plus 1, in this case up to 3. We executed this statement and now k is free and you can write into k, and the total number of elements needs to be incremented because you are just inserting one element. So that's how you can insert an element. So today we saw how you can process an element. Maybe you can read elements into an array, you can display the elements of an array, you can alter the elements of an array or copy or modify or whatever you want. You can delete an element of an array if you want. In that case, one position becomes free. You have to do a number of shiftings, or you can insert where again you have to do a number of shiftings. In the case of deletion, shifting is done in a systematic manner. Similarly, in insertion also it is done, but from the opposite direction. Now with this, I am giving you some homework exercise problems which you have to solve, and you have to practice that in your C programming lab. First program is implement a C program to arrange a given sequence of n unsigned integers in not decreasing order, where you assume that 100 is the maximum number of elements that you want to sort, because you have to declare an array. You declare it with size 100. Next problem, implement a C program to eliminate the duplicates in a given sequence of n unsigned integers. Here again, assume 100 as the maximum size required for your array. Then the last, implement a C program to insert the element. What element you have to insert is smallest at plus 10. Smallest is the value. I will tell you what that value is. As the next element to the least element of the array, which is actually smallest. So you have to find the least element and store it in the variable smallest, the least element. Then the least element plus 10 should be stored as the next element to the least element. That's what you have to do. And assume that 100 is the maximum size of the array, and also assume that number of elements present in the given array is strictly less than 100. So then only you can do an insertion. So today we have seen how we can do various types of processing in a single dimensional array. We saw how we can read elements into an array, how can we print the elements of an array, how can we access or modify the elements of an array, how can we delete an element from a single dimensional array, and finally we have seen how one can insert an element to a single dimensional array. Thank you.